time we have to go through the question, what is the basic difference between SaaS and PaaS? SaaS, software as a service, PaaS, platform as a service. SaaS is basically a software as a service where the software licensing and delivery model are provided in a subscription basis to the user, like your Office 365 or Adobe Creative Cloud. So you'll get subscription license for a particular time period. So you'll get the entire software interfaces, but not the entire software. And when your subscription is over, so your services is also over. But whereas PaaS will provide you a software or application development environment where you can create your own software. Now this is not only functionality of PaaS. Apart from this, PaaS will provide security environment, testing environment, version control platform. So first, let us discuss what do you mean by the application development environment. So it will provide you the entire what are the softwares are required for developing your application. Suppose if you are going for a full stack development or web application development where you require PHP, you require MySQL. Not only that, for the for PHP and MySQL, so that these two can be installed in a particular software and hardware platform. So this compatibility you have to check. You have to check the version compatibility. Not only that, if any updates for PHP comes, so the updated version must be compatible with the installed software and hardware development environment. Not only that, you have to check that which port, whether the port is open or not to run your PHP in a standalone machine. So if considering so many constraints, so those constraints can be eliminated if you go for a PaaS environment, suppose in AWS. So in AWS you can create your own application development environment, and they will take care of the what are the software and hardware required to run these applications, and if any update is required, the update will also be done, and they will check for the required version compatibility. They will check the security environment, and after developing that software, whatever testing environment is required, they will provide the testing environment also. And the development environment, whatever they are providing, they will provide in a collaborative manner. Means you can share this development platform to your peers, so that your peers can also involve in this particular development, and you can check the log details who is changing what in a CLI mode. Now AWS is providing this development environment in different way. Either you can take a inbuilt software and hardware specific EC2 instance from the AWS marketplace. Means you need a full stack development environment for PHP on SUSE Linux or AWS Linux or any other Mint Linux, whatever platform you want. So you can choose it from the AWS marketplace, that this type of EC2 instance integrated with the required software and hardware installed over it, and you can take it. Now, whatever you have to pay, that is, you have to pay the hardware instance license, as well as whatever software you are taking from that one. So this is one option, that you have taken the entire EC2 instance, which is called actually the virtualization instance. So you can take that virtualization instance from the Amazon AWS marketplace. And another option is that you take the Cloud9 platform. Cloud9 is an universal IDE, integrated development environment, where you can run your code either in Java, C, C++, whatever be the available or popular compilers are available. Now you can install, or you can take this Cloud9 platform by creating a new EC2 instance, or if you have an existing EC2 instance, on top of that EC2, you by calling that EC2 instance, you can run that Cloud9. Next one is the AWS Lambda. So what is AWS Lambda? AWS Lambda is basically provide you a platform for serverless computing environment. So it runs your code without provisioning or managing the servers. You pay only for the compute time you consume. Now with Lambda, you can run the code for virtually any type of applications or backend services, all with zero administration. Just upload your code and Lambda takes care of everything required to run and scale your code with high availability. You can set up your code to automatically trigger from other AWS services or call it directly from any web or mobile app. Now, when we require AWS Lambda, the cases where you don't know how much hardware requirement for this to run this code. So that case, if you choose the AWS Lambda, the integrated AWS environment will take care of this, the hardware requirement and the software requirement. If the hardware requirement to run the code is more, then immediately it will scale up the required hardware platform. If it is not required that much, it will scale down the required hardware platform. So user does not have to think about what type of hardware is being utilized. So user have to pay whatever with the compute time. That means how long the code is being run. Another option is the Docker and container. So this is already discussed in my other lecture. So Docker is basically a software platform that allows you to build, test and deploy applications quickly. Docker packages software into standardized units called containers that have everything the software needs to run, including its library, system tools, code, runtime. Using Docker, you can quickly deploy and scale applications into any environment and know your code will run. So where container or Docker is required, so as it is a complete package with the required library, tools and code, everything, so its portability is high. Means you have built your applications, you can take your applications and put it any other hardware platform, irrespective of the hardware platform, you can run your application. Now, in this lecture, we'll show you how to use AWS Cloud9 and AWS Lambda to give you a flavor to create your own application development environment. As we have already discussed in another lecture about the Docker container as well as about the AWS marketplace. So let us go. How to create your Cloud9 environment. Here I have two Cloud9 environments are present over here. First I will show you how the Cloud9 application development environment works, and after that we'll show you how to create your own Cloud9 environment. So this is one Cloud9 environment. So you'll find out the places where you can run your code, and you can deploy your code from here. You have the option whether you want to run your code to C and compiler, C++, CoffeeScript, Go, Java, Node.js, PHP, PHP in CLI mode, Python 2 or Python 3, Ruby, shell command, shell script, TypeScript. And if you have new runner, that also you can mention. If it is available in AWS, you can surely run it. Now now I will show you how to create your own Cloud9 environment. First, how to import your code, how to deploy your code. So I'm starting from the beginning. Go to AWS console. Now either from the services you can choose Cloud9, as we are using Cloud9, so you can directly go to Cloud9. So already I've seen these two development environments are there. I will create a new environment. You can give the description of the environment so that if you have different group of projects, so you can identify that which group it belongs to and what are the environments are being used. Now there are two options, that either you can create one EC2 instance, on top of it you will create your own Cloud9 environment, or if you have one existing EC2 instance, that case you have to choose this option and you have to give the login ID of that EC2 instance and also the host details, that is the IP addresses of that particular EC2 instance, and to connect it so that on top of it it will create its own cloud environment. So here I am showing you by creating one EC2 instance itself. So you have the different instance type. So to run an application development environment, you don't require a huge resource intensive hardware platform. Uh, if you require, you can choose it. So for the time being, I am choosing T3.small, which consists of 2 GB of RAM and 2 virtual CPU and Amazon Linux platform. And another option also you can choose. Suppose in the application development environment, if it remains idle, then after 30 minutes it will stop automatically to save your cost. But if you want, you can increase it as per your choice. Create the environment, it will take some time. Actually, I have so many environment I have created. I have to delete the other environment to create a new one. Let us delete the others. It will take some time. Okay, now your development environment is created. So we have to terminate the earlier IDE because it is not permitting me to take two virtual CPU and 2 GB RAM and two virtual CPU. So I have scaled it down because it's an educational account, so it has some restriction of using the resources. Anyway, so for my applications, whatever the application development environment I create, for that this much is sufficient. So this is the dashboard first of all. So how now we have to check that how to import my code. So you can import your code either from GitHub, or you can within your EC2 instance you can copy the code. So better to store all your code repository into GitHub, and from that you can import it. So I'll show you how to import it from the GitHub. Now before that, let us see what are the things that are available in your dashboard. So to import your code, you can import it in the following format. And for the keyboard mode, there are several keyboard modes are available: default, DIM, or Emacs, or Sublime Text. Now to find a file option is there, view, and if you go to run option, already I've shown what are the different flavors are available to run your option. And you can preview after running that what should be your output side. And you can for collaboration option, so either if you if you enable this collaborate option, that case you can share to which you will collaborate your code. So for sharing, you have to include the sharing mode on, and also you have to give the integrated access authentication management IAM username of the user. And not only that, after sharing it, you can choose whether you want to share it in the read mode or read and write mode, so that the multiple users can use this application simultaneously. Now, let us import one of my code by writing git clone Python. So AWS Modern Application Workshop is an open repository. This is not my one. So I am cloning the entire contents of this repository. So whenever I clone it, so it will show in the left hand side panel. So you can see what are the different modules, images, and everything. So you can take any one of the module or images. So it will come over here. You just have to drag and drop over here. Okay. So this, and if you want to take the code also, you can take the code over here. So there are different windows will come. So I am deleting all those windows. Right. Now next thing is let us take another clone another GitHub from the GitHub link. Again, so this is another demo is available in the open GitHub repository. So you can take your own repository also. That case you have to make it open access. Mistake in the name. Okay, so this one also come. So let us check. Static demo. Here you will find out the sample example. So first let us take this one, index.html. So it's a simple HTML file. So if you want to preview this, you can preview that one. You can run this one. If you want to check the preview file, so I am loading one by one demo files. First I am loading this JavaScript, run it. So you can see it is being run, and if you want to debug it, so the debug option is also there. So if you want to run the Ruby file, just run it. So if you want to run a PHP file, just run it. So this is the PHP output console, this is the Ruby output console, this is the JavaScript output console. Okay, now another, the index.html that we have earlier seen. So if you want to run this one also, it will run. And not only that, you can see the preview file also. This actually, this one is the preview file. If I close this one and if I run the preview one, check what is the problem is coming over there. And another option is there if you want to connect with the Lambda function. So already we have discussed that Lambda will provide you a serverless computing environment where you don't have to think about that what other software and hardware platforms are required. What you have to do that you have to just run your code relentlessly, and it will take care of the software and the hardware platform, and it will charge you based on your compute time or the execution time of your code. So create one Lambda environment over here, test 5 to next. So you can choose on which environment you have to run your code, whether it's a Node.js function or a Python function or a Python API gateway or simple Hello World API, or in a Node.js or Python 27. So there are several platforms available. So you can choose any one of them. So I am choosing the first one, that is a Node.js function, and click next. And next it will check that what is the minimum memory requirement memory requirement for your running this application. So you can choose this one, or it will take the by default one, and also it will choose the which region your application will run, and you can increase the memory requirement also. Not only that, you can, if you choose the minimum minimum scale, and after that if you find out that your memory requirement is high, automatically it will scale up your memory to run this code smoothly. So you can review before creating your Lambda applications. So it is US test 1, my test 5, and Node.js 12.x, and this is the handler. Finish it. So when you finish, one demo.js, one Node.js file will be created. So, sorry, not demo.js, it is an index.js, and you can run this application also. Here it will show you one error because it is unable to find the username, because as we are using the academic version, so we have not created under any user license of AWS. So don't worry, so you just run this